Hello, Ugong Senior High School. I am Sir John. I will be your ABM subject teacher for school year 2020-2021. See you all in our virtual classroom. Hello. Our lesson for today is Fundamentals of Accountancy, Business and Management 2, Week 1, Lesson 1. So what is SFP, or Statement of Financial Position? Statement of Financial Position, also known as the balance sheet. The SFP consists of the amounts of the company's total assets, liabilities, and owner's equity, in which in totality provides the condition of the company on a specific date. The date of this statement is always as of the end of the period. Classification of accounts found on SFP. Permanent accounts. Permanent accounts, as the name suggests, these accounts are permanent in the sense that their balances remain intact from one accounting period to another. Contra assets. Contra assets are those accounts that are presented under the assets portion of the SFP, but are reductions to the company's assets. Examples are accumulated depreciation and allowance for doubtful accounts. Elements found on the Statement of Financial Position. Assets. Asset is the resources or things of value that are owned by the company as the result of company's transaction. Liabilities. Liabilities are obligation of the company or organization, amounts owed to lenders and suppliers. Equity reflects residual claims or net assets of the owners of the business entity. There are two major classifications of assets, the current assets and the non-current assets. Current assets are cash and other resources that are expected to turn to cash or to be used up within 1 year of the balance sheet date. If the company's operating cycle is not longer than 1 year, an item is a current asset. Non-current assets. Non-current assets are the company's long-term investment for which the full value will not be realized within one accounting year. Examples of current assets: cash and cash equivalents, trade accounts receivable, notes receivable, interest receivable, trading securities or FAFBPL, inventories, finished goods, goods in process, and raw materials, supplies, and prepaid assets. Examples of non-current assets: property, plant, and equipment or PPE, intangible assets, investment properties, biological assets. There are two major classifications of liabilities, the current liabilities and non-current liabilities. Current liabilities are obligations due within 1 year of the balance sheet date. Non-current liabilities are a company's long-term investment for which the full value will not be realized within the accounting year. There are different kinds of current liabilities: trade accounts payable, notes payable, interest payable, income tax payable, and other accrued expenses. Different kinds of non-current liabilities: long-term debt, and bonds payable. Sources of equity. Equity comes from two sources. First, comes directly from the owners in the form of investment of capital. Second, comes directly from the income of the business from its normal operation. Net income or net loss. The net income or net loss of the business from its operation can be determined by using the equation presented below. Revenues minus expenses equals net income or net loss. Equity. A business earns revenue when it sells its product or its services. Matching principle states that no revenue can be earned without incurring corresponding expenditures. The capital account of the equity represents the net investment of the business. In today's lesson, we discussed and understood the different accounts found on SFP, or Statement of Financial Position, also known as the balance sheet, permanent accounts, and contra-asset accounts. We also discussed the definitions of asset, liabilities, and owner's equity. Two major classification of assets and liabilities, which are the current assets, non-current assets, current liabilities, and non-current liabilities. You also learn the two major sources of equity, how to recognize whether it is a net income or net loss, using the equation revenue minus expenses is equal to net income or net loss. I hope in today's lesson you learned something. See you all in our next video tutorials. Have a nice day! Thank you, class.